Hello, happy Monday. How are you? I hope you're good. If you hear background noise, it's because my neighbor's doing yard work and there's really nothing I can do about that, so it's just gonna be the way it is. Hopefully it's not too loud. I apologize. But today I'm going to be filming the mid-year book freakout tag. Originally I was going to film a book review, but then I thought about it and figured I would wait till next Monday because there's a book that I want to review and I'm just gonna wait. But I really like this book tag because it's almost a check-in in a way on your reading and your thoughts and opinions and what you're looking forward to later on in the year. So I really like this tag because it's just fun to see what you've read so far. First question is the best book you've read so far. I think I'm gonna go with Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier just because that book was such an experience and it was so beautifully written, and the characters aren't great. You don't like the characters in this book at all, but they're written so well that you just need to see the outcome of the story. You need to see what happens. You become so invested in just the plot of this story, and I loved it so much. And there is an unreliable narrator, and the twist of this is so crazy, and I love this so much. I can see myself rereading this so many times in the future. So for me, I think the best book so far is Rebecca. I also, honorable mention, I love The Sea Wolf by Jack London. It was just so good as well. But okay, the second question is best sequel you read so far. I don't think I read that many sequels, to be honest, but I did read, I think it's called The Hand on the Wall by Maureen Johnson. If I messed up the title, I'm sorry. This is the third and final book in the Truly Devious series trilogy, and this series is just so much fun, so thrilling and gripping and mysterious. And yes, they're not the best written books out there, so don't go into this series thinking it's gonna be incredible, amazing. They're not, but they're so much fun, and I love the mystery and the twist, and I love how, you know, thought out this author. I love how much effort the author really put in the story, because you could tell she put so much thought and time into the plot and the twist and everything that happened in this story. For those that don't know, Truly Devious is about, or it's set at this boarding school. When it first opened up decades ago, there was a murder that happened, and then we now follow, you know, in this time, our main character Stevie as she's trying to solve that crime that was unsolved for years and years, and it's great. I love it so much, so I would really recommend that if you want a fun, like, murder and mystery young adult series. Question 3 is new release you haven't read yet but want to. For this one, I couldn't really think of one. I could go with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes because I am interested in that one, but one book that is about to come out that I'm going to read and then review is called Hella by David McGregor. I forgot the author. You'll see it in the picture. But Hella, this is a book where on this planet everything is huge, and that's all I know. So I'm really excited to read this one. I have it on my Kindle and I'm going to read it really soon and then review it. So I'm really excited for this one. Again, I love ridiculous books like this, but I'm hoping it's good. The cover is just perfect. So that's one that's about to be a new release. It's either going to be out in a week or so or will be out. I don't know. 4 is most anticipated release for the second half of the year. There are a lot of books that I'm really looking forward to later this year. I posted a most anticipated video recently, but I think the one that I'm the most excited for is honestly called what is it called? It's Clown in a Cornfield? Is a corn in a clown field? I have to look this up because I already forgot. Goodreads is so slow on my phone. Clown in a Cornfield by Adam Caesar. This one is a young adult book set in this town where stuff happens and then a clown decides to kill everyone or something. That's basically as much as I know. It sounds ridiculous, but oh my gosh, why would you not want to read this? Because it just sounds so fun, and I'm here for it. I will be buying it, I will be reading it, I will be reviewing it, so look forward to that. Number 5 is biggest disappointment. I didn't really think about this beforehand, so sorry if I'm rambling, but I think I'm gonna go with Flight or Fright, the short story collection compiled together by Stephen King. That one was probably the biggest disappointment for me, just because I was really excited to read about horror stories that were set on an airplane, which was fun, and there were a couple of interesting stories, but most of them were really bland. And the biggest thing that irked me was that it was just a bunch of male writers and there was no females in the collection, so it just threw me off and it left a bad taste in my mouth and I didn't really like it. So I would not recommend that short story collection at all. Don't read it. Number 6 is biggest surprise. The biggest surprise. What surprised me? I don't know. Let me think. Let's just sit here and think for a bit. Okay, this one took me a minute, but I have a solid answer, and that is Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. This one took me by surprise because I didn't think I was gonna really like it. I didn't think it would pull at my heartstrings and make me fall in love with the story as much as it did, but man, Crescent City, I loved it. I can't wait for the next book in the series. I will say that it's definitely not for everyone because it's so hard to get into it and you really have to just push through those first 200 to 300 pages because dang, the info dumping. There's so much info dumping, but overall it was so worth it, and I love the characters, I love the story, I'm very invested. Crescent City, how did this happen? How did I fall in love with the Sarah J. Maas book? I don't know, but I did. So we're just gonna roll with it. Okay, moving on to the next question. Question 7, favorite new author, debut or new to you? This one is kind of hard, but I think I have an answer. I'm gonna go with Ruth Ware, only because I read 2 of her books this year. One I didn't like at all, one I did really like, and I previously last year read another book from her and really enjoyed that. So I've been picking up more of her books recently, and I think that she's becoming a new favorite, or not necessarily a favorite, but every time I see a book from her I want to read because she's a good writer overall. She writes really interesting stories. Sometimes they're a hit, sometimes they're a miss, but overall I'm really invested in Ruth Ware and I see why so many people like her now. I'm definitely a fan. I'm looking forward to her new release, so hopefully that one is good. But I think Ruth Ware is my answer for that. I couldn't really think of anyone else. Number 8 is new fictional crush. A crush on a fictional character? No, I don't think I have one. I mean, I don't know. I didn't think enough about it, but probably not. 9, newest favorite character. My new favorite character is probably Holly Gibney. Holly Gibney. I read The Outsider earlier this year, and then I read If It Bleeds, and she was featured in her own little short story in there, and I really like her as a character. I really want to read Mr. Mercedes because I want to read more about that character as well, and she's featured in that series. So I think Holly Gibney, she's just a very interesting perspective to read from, so I'm gonna go with Holly Gibney. Number 10, a book that made you cry. Crescent City by Sarah J. Maas. I already talked about this book, but that book made me bawl tears at the end. Also, Salt to the Sea by Ruta Sepetys. This is a historical fiction that will just rip your heart into a million pieces. It is so sad, but such a beautiful story. I highly recommend that one. Number 11, a book that made you happy. Probably The Sea Wolf by Jekyll London. It's not the happiest of tales, to be honest, but just reading that book makes me happy. I love reading books about the sea and the ocean, so when something's set there, it's like a little happy place, so I'm gonna go with The Sea Wolf. Number 12, most beautiful book you bought so far this year. The Deep by Alma Katsu. This is a book that I have started and haven't finished yet, but I will because I really am liking it so far. I don't know who you are, who did the illustration. I need to find out because you're incredible. I love this. This is just so eerie and gorgeous and spooky but beautiful, and I love this. I love this so much. I probably would have bought this book on the cover. If I didn't know that this was about the Titanic, I probably still would have bought it just because it's such a gorgeous cover. It's so pretty. So The Deep is beautiful. Number 13 is what books do you need to read by the end of the year? So many. All of the books. Every single one that I own that's unread, which is a lot, over 100. It wouldn't surprise me if it's 200 by this point. But yeah, so many. I'm gonna say probably The Count of Monte Cristo, because that's one that I'm still only 450 pages into, and it's over 1,000 pages, and I'm loving it, but I haven't finished it yet. And I keep talking about it. I keep talking about it constantly, saying, hey, I'm reading it, but I'm not reading it fast, and I just need to get through it. So I really want to read The Count of Monte Cristo. I also really want to read, what else? There's so many. I would love to read House of Leaves. I own House of Leaves, so I would love to read that one. Yeah, there's so many, but let's just go with those two for starters. And the last question is favorite book community member. I've started watching so many new booktubers this year, just wanting to get back into the community. I followed a bunch of new people, and I love so many creators right now, but 3 that I'm really enjoying right now would probably be Elena from Elena the Great. I love the nerdy narrative so much. Her reviews are so good. Every time she reviews a book, I want to read everything that she talks about. And who else? I think lastly I'll talk about Tally from Tally's Books and Stuff, I believe is her channel name. I'll link all of them down below, but Tally's really great. I love her editing style. Her videos are just so gorgeous and put together so well. I can't really think of anyone else right now, so I'm just gonna go with those 3. I love all of these creators, so please go show them some love and watch their content because they're amazing. And yeah, I think that's the last question. I'm probably supposed to tag people. If I'm gonna tag those 3 people that I talked about, so you guys, if you haven't done this tag, I tag you. That's the mid-year book freakout tag. I have nothing else to say. I'm gonna go. I'll see you later. Bye.